This video is sponsored by Squarespace. The only reason I started using Bear Cavalry paints is because they paid me to use them. But after a few days of painting with nothing else, something strange happened. I couldn't go back to my old favorite paints. Which was confusing because on paper, these paints actually had a lot working against them. So how did this paint line that's not even my style end up being my go-to paint brand? Today, we're gonna paint these paints through a series of tests, looking at the color range, opacity, blending, and glazing, and explore exactly why this paint line ended up being the backbone to my Golden Demon competition piece. Let's start with the facts. Bear Cavalry is a US-based hobby brand that produces paint, washes, rust effects, and basing mud. Their paints come in tall 20ml bottles and cost $5.99 each, which is a little bit more than average. As an indie brand, they're currently available mainly through their website and a handful of specialty retailers, although they've been expanding into more online and brick-and-mortar stores. Bear Cavalry's line currently includes 48 colors, 2 washes, and several muds. And as a quick side note, I actually really like their basing mud, which is odd because I've never been particularly excited about mud before. But these are surprisingly realistic and easy to use. What makes these paints different? There are a few things that make these paints a little different from most miniature paints. First, they use liquid pigments, which makes the paints behave more like a high fluid acrylic than traditional miniature paints. In practice, that means the paint doesn't break down when heavily thinned. It also helps the paint stay workable longer, which is great for techniques like glazing and wet blending. I haven't noticed any separation in the bottle, but I always shake the paints before I put them on my palette anyway. They're also very transparent about which pigments are used in each paint, which is something I've never seen before. And as a nice bonus, the paint bottles are eco-friendly, which is always nice. Let's talk bottles. One thing I do appreciate about the bottles is that they're clear so you can easily see the paint color inside. However, their unusual size doesn't fit very well into my existing paint storage, which is actually one of the reasons I initially avoided using them regularly. That said, the unique shape does have an upside. It makes them very recognizable, and they definitely stand out from the rest of my paints. Before we continue, let's talk about Squarespace. Squarespace has everything you need to build your online presence, and so much more. Use Squarespace Blueprint to answer a few questions and get a custom-designed website. Want something specific? Check out their templates, use their easy drag-and-drop tools to create your unique site fast. Add in online classes, print on demand, and built-in payments. It truly becomes your all-in-one platform. If you're ready to build the website for your next chapter, head to squarespace.com for your free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code LYLAMEV to save 10% off on your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, back to painting. The color range is the second reason I was hesitant to add Bear Cavalry to my main painting range. When we look at the lineup, there are a lot of grays and browns. Out of the 48 colors in the range, 7 are grayscale, 7 are browns, and 4 are skin tones. That means roughly 40% of the range sits somewhere in the black, gray, brown, or tan spectrum. For painters who love grimdark palettes, that might be perfect. But for someone like me who tends to gravitate towards more vibrant colors, it felt a little limiting. I also found it annoying that a lot of the paints are really close to each other, while there are still noticeable gaps in the range. One of the biggest gaps for me is the purple and magenta range. There just aren't enough options there, and that's particularly frustrating because purple and magenta are colors you can't mix from other paints. They're the kind of hues that really need to exist in the line already. If a paint range doesn't include them, you're basically out of luck. But there's also some standout colors. Mindcrime Magenta is a paint I adore. It's incredibly smooth and vibrant, and while it does take 2 coats, it's actually a great counterpart to my other favorite magenta, Chimera's Magenta. Purple Rain is a beautiful periwinkle, and it ended up playing an important role in my Valhalla piece. And Seekic Hara is one of those paints I find myself reaching for almost daily. Let's test the paints. The majority of these paints are seriously opaque, which was one of the reasons I've fallen in love with them. Most of the colors perform extremely well, and a few are particularly impressive. The yellows over black, for example, are outstanding, and getting yellow to cover well over black is extremely difficult. Honestly, it might be easier to talk about the colors that struggled. The reds and oranges are a bit more transparent, which isn't unusual since those pigments are notoriously difficult to make opaque. Violet skies and Minecraft magenta are also more transparent, and the white ended up being slightly more transparent than I would prefer as well. Minecraft magenta totally makes sense as to why it's transparent, but Violet skies in white was a little confusing. But the real question is, how do they actually behave on a model? Straight out of the bottle, the paints are very thin. I'd compare the consistency to the thinner paints of the Too Thin Coats line. They require almost no additional thinning, usually just a slightly damp brush is enough to help the paint flow smoothly. The colors mix together beautifully, exactly as you'd expect. In the months I've been using these paints, I've never had any strange behavior while mixing. Today, I'm painting this Rat Lord on Gnaw Beast, which is not my Golden Demon piece, but is still a model I'm excited to paint. Here you can see how the low opacity of Minecraft magenta creates some challenges when it's mixed into other colors, but after a second layer, the paint reaches full opacity. The paint feels silky smooth while still being easy to control with the brush, making them very pleasant to work with. They flow easily off the bristles, and their fluid consistency makes it easy to build up thin, controlled layers. I do want to give a quick disclaimer. I do marketing for Bear Cavalry. However, that does not impact my opinion on these paints. I've actually been working for Bear Cavalry for almost a year, and you've only now recently been seeing these paints on my channel. That's because I honestly wasn't a huge fan of them before. However, if you do decide you want to try these paints, I do make a little bit of money if you use my affiliate link down in my description box. Glazing is actually where these paints completely won me over. Glazing is one of my favorite techniques, so it makes sense that I ended up really liking these paints. Because they're liquid pigments, they don't break down the way many other paints do when you start thinning them. If you've ever noticed a gritty texture as you're thinning down your paints, those are the literal physical pigments of the paint you're using. Since these don't have physical pigments, I can thin these paints into oblivion and still not run into any pigment separation or breakdown. Here you can see how Violet Skies adds vibrancy to the model while also creating shadows with ease. Even their more opaque colors thin down beautifully and turn into glazes effortlessly. Here I'm using Hellbent on Leather, one of their very opaque colors, and you can see how it thinned down to a spectacular glaze consistency. To further test these paints, I'm wet blending off to the side, using both translucent and opaque colors. Here we have a battle of Yellow Tavern and the Red Baron, and Boon Tan and Battle of Marathon. And wait a minute. Did I forget how to wet blend? Yes, I did. I forgot how to wet blend. Okay, let's give those translucent colors a second try. Okay, now we can see how the red and yellow blend together seamlessly. And as you can see, these paints have plenty of working time. There was even enough time to go back in and adjust the blend until it looked right. Despite the longer working time, the paints still dry reasonably quickly once you leave them alone. Although their long drying time can be a bit of a double-edged sword because I am a very impatient painter. The washes come in two colors, black and brown. On the fur, I'm using Whispers in the Dark, which is a reddish purple brown, and applying it straight out of the bottle. At first, I was a little surprised. The filtering effect was stronger than I expected. Honestly, I usually use Citadel washes because of the wide variety of colors, so this was my first time at testing the washes. Aside from that intensity though, it behaved exactly like a normal wash and flowed nicely into the recesses of the fur. When testing the black wash, Black Fire, I thinned it slightly with water. That reduced the strength of the filtering while still allowing the wash to settle into the recesses and highlight the texture of the model. One thing I do really appreciate about these washes compared to Citadel washes is that they don't dry glossy, which is one of my biggest pet peeves when working with traditional Citadel washes. Here is the final verdict. The only reason I really gave these paints a chance in the first place is because I was paid to use them. And even then, my love for these paints snuck up on me. It wasn't until my Golden Demon piece, where I almost exclusively reached for Bear Cavalry paints, that I realized this needed to become a staple of my regular painting setup. I still use other paint lines to fill the gaps in the range, but that's really what it comes down to. The question stopped being, what colors can Bear Cavalry fill? And instead became, what colors do I need to fill around Bear Cavalry? And honestly, for the paint only being a year old, that's a pretty great place to be. So if you're someone who likes glazing, feathering, or wet blending, the liquid pigment power of these paints would be great for you. And if you like grim dark, these colors will be a perfect fit. Personally, I will eagerly be awaiting the addition of more vibrant colors. Alright, that's it from me. You know the drill, like, comment, subscribe, go join me on Patreon. If you see me at Adepticon, I would love to talk to you. Please stop and say hello. And if we're by the cases, point out your model, I would love to see them. Thank you so much for watching this video, I'll see you next time.